Law firms, you need a better offer. Every single law firm is saying exactly the same thing, and so it's going to be impossible for a potential client to differentiate between all of the different law firms and select one that stands out to actually solve their problem. And so the problem, what happens there is that everyone looks the same, and so there's no reason to use your particular law firm. And so by that point, you're basically just relying on being in front of the person at the right place at the right time to convert. And that can and does work to a degree, but if you want outsized, outstanding results from your marketing and just getting more matters in general, having a better offer that actually stands out is going to help you tremendously. Now, I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. If we go on Google and just look up any of the law firms, like we can go on page 1 and just see any of the lawyers on here. Basically, everyone's saying the exact same thing. So obviously, I'm not picking on anyone particularly in this video. I'm just opening up what's on page 1 here. And if we take a look, it's usually just a statement of what kind of lawyer, get a free consultation. We're the best family lawyers in Sydney, leading family lawyers in Sydney, helping you with estate, with family law. Some good, some of this content's decent, don't get me wrong. The website looks good, but then you go to the next one, book a free consultation, Sydney's leading family lawyers. So we've got 2 leading family lawyers already. Can't even pick between those 2 just based on that information. Leading family lawyers. They all say basically the same thing. Some reviews, etc. And then that's it. And then here, who's the best family lawyers? Okay, this is a summary article. This one, the best family lawyers in Sydney. And then we just have this. This is another article. Let's go back to actually a couple more law firms. We got family lawyers, first tier family law firm. Again, basically the same thing, award-winning, X amount of experience, etc., etc. So the problem you have here, this one doesn't work, but basically it says the exact same thing. And so if you think about it from a potential client's perspective, like let's say I needed a family lawyer right now, they're all largely saying the same thing. And so everyone's leaving it up to chance for me to now just go, well, I guess which website looks better or whose face do I prefer? Like it's not really left to any sort of specific thing for me to decide between who's better and who isn't. I mean, maybe based on the reviews, but all the offers are the same. And so one easy way to stand out from this, even if you aren't a massive law firm, that's, let's say, a brand name, is that if you just make a better offer than everyone else, people are going to come to you. So let's say, for example, in this case, if you're a family lawyer or you're doing divorce, like you could do some free guide, for example, on like 10 things you need to know before getting a divorce. That's just like one example that would just make you stand out slightly differently because nobody else is doing that. And so when they click on your one, it's like, okay, well, now you got this free book that these people gave you. And so, you're going to start feeling a bit of affinity towards them. That's one example. I mean, another thing you could do is like, depending on how you want to price it, obviously, you might have like some certain price incentive. They don't pay until they get a certain result or some kind of like, some differentiator there. It's obviously going to depend on your particular scenario and what you have to offer and all these different things, but you need to find a different way to stand out other than X amount of experience and leading family lawyer, because I just showed you there's like 10 other ones who say exactly the same thing on page 1 of Google. And so it's just a case now of hoping that you stand out in some way and they like the color of your site better than everyone else. So that's what I mean. Now that's something that I help lawyers do when I work with them, is to figure out how can we present their services and their firm in such a way that it at least makes them stand out somehow, even if it's not necessarily, offering free services forever or like whatever ridiculous offer, but makes them stand out in some way so that it differentiates them from everybody else. And so that is how you get monumentally higher returns, because now you're going to stand out for all these different people when everyone else is saying they're a top family lawyer, but you've got this different offer. You're going to be the only one with doing that. And so more people are going to come to you as a result of that. So that's why I say that law firms need a better offer, because unfortunately everyone is saying exactly the same thing. Even if you read the copy on most of these pages, it's basically exactly the same. Like it just says the same stuff. And so that's one of the things, like I said, that we help law firms that we work with to establish some kind of differentiator so that they get much better returns. If you want my help with making an offer for your law firm, and I work on a pure performance basis, by the way, you can click the link below and schedule a call with me and I'll see how I can help. Talk then.